So, you want to know how a governor can control an entire state, compromise his opponents, suppress star seeds, and keep the von Neumann network running smoothly, all while smiling for the cameras and signing executive orders, huh? Well, he doesn't do it alone. It takes a village. Village idiots, we call them in Lumania. But he calls them departments, and the engine room is the 764 network for those departments. Here is the real world foundation, followed by the story version that will quite literally break your brain. So let's look at the facts, because we're going all Dick Wolf on this bitch. The FBI describes 764, the cult, as a, quote, nihilistic violent extremist group, end quote. And apparently their goal is to destroy civilized society. This 764 cult is a decentralized, transnational network that exploits children, some as young as 9 or 10, through online gaming platforms like Roblox, Discord, and Minecraft. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino called it a heinous child exploitation ring that coerces victims into acts of violence, self-harm, animal abuse, suicide, and sexual abuse. The group's founder, Bradley Felix Cadenhead, was a teenager in Texas who named the group after the first 3 digits of his zip code. And he's now serving 80 years in prison. What is going on with the children over there, Abbott? Why aren't they playing night game, which will help them, and instead creating satanic cults? What's going on? Don't worry, we're here now. And I know you arrested the man, but the network didn't die with him. It actually exploded, made it worse. Canada even designated 764 as a terrorist entity in December 2025, the same December 2025 that I came out. And Canada was the first country to do so. Canada is also the only country I sent SOS to when I told everyone that the Durban riots were going to happen. And 2 weeks before, I had a vision, and I messaged Canada, Trudeau. I was like, please, can I come there? Because these people are going to burn people next week. And no one did shit. So thank you, Canada, for making 764 a terrorist entity in December 2025. And thank you to the FBI field office in Canada, because you had cases there. And apparently there are 350 active investigations nationwide, over 350. Probably 3.5.7. Well, here's what the news doesn't emphasize. 764 is not just a gang, it's an ideology. They've infected law enforcement, politics, entertainment, and even the military. Former Navy sailor Camden Rodriguez was among those arrested for leading Greggy's cult, the group that birthed 764. Members of 764 have now been charged with conspiracy to provide material support to terrorists. They're not just pedos, they're system builders. Okay, so in the story, we are going to call the governor in my movie, Night Game ARG3. That's fucking gross. Oh, God. In the movie, we're going to call the governor Aldridge. Governor Aldridge. No relation to the good guys, okay? It's just we need the name. I was going to say Governor Allardyce, but then it would be too obvious. It's also supposed to be a mystery. So anyway, Governor Aldridge, he sits between the Silicon Valley billionaires who fund the system and the 764 network that runs its dirty work. Again, not all the billionaires, the ones that we make fun of. public persona, whatever. So Governor Aldridge doesn't actually touch the filth himself. He has 12 departments or 12 pillars of his nightmare machine that he runs, and they are part of the larger VN network, which plays out in a TV show. So in the movie, you get an introduction to the VN network, but then in the show, you actually get to see every week how they are, causing disturbances throughout the realms. So there are 12 departments, guys. This is going to take a minute. So get ready. Department 1, online grooming. That's the bait shop. This is where it starts. Predators operating on Discord, Telegram, Roblox, YouTube, and Minecraft befriend valuable, vulnerable children, the lonely, the depressed, the social outcasts. Me, I was in there. I'm a method actor, okay? And they offer attention, they offer affection, they cry, they use tears. These people will stoop at nothing to get you because they offer belonging. That's why in my program, we start with self-actualization. That way you don't need belonging from anyone. So these people ask for belonging, and then they ask for a photo. That's what they did to me. They wanted me to send some photos, like jerking off in a green dress or whatever. It was very surreal. But then eventually they make you like worship them. Da, da, da. I mean, I did prep before this, so I kind of knew, but I didn't think in this day and age of Palantir and stuff, I didn't think that people would be dumb enough, which is why I need diplomatic immunity, because I cannot, be under the same laws as dumb people. Just doesn't make sense. So the second department is the social media aspect. So that's that's the narrative spinners, right? So these are basically the point of interface, the actual tarot readers and spiritual influencers. Trixie in the movie, they are managed by handlers, all of them. They don't just do what they want. Not all of them, but the ones who are popping and popular. That's what you do. You go through the mafia. So they are handled by the mafia, who's James. So they report to James. And then James is actually the governor's fixer. Hey, Sakatu did that guy did that. So they, unlike the real tarot readers, there are plenty of real good ones. But then these fake ones, tricksy ones, let's call them trixies. They push fake readings. They send fake messages. They pretend to be guides, but actually they are programming you. And they're using their powers for evil. So when a starseed starts to wake up, they are sent in to steer them back into the darkness. So that's, social media side. So after watching their readings, they say, come book a reading. They won't talk to you unless you book a reading. So then you go to their social media. So that's the second department. You see how it works. You think you're just on the internet. No, you're in a realm and you're going to get eaten if you don't know what you're doing. So now there's the third department. That's nightlife and entertainment. That's why you hear them now saying, go out, go have drinks, go do this, go do this. It's like so fucking boring. So Department 3, nightlife, entertainment. This is when they try to get compromise on you, drinking, taking drugs, whatever, skunking a line of coke off a black man's dick. That's called skunking. So the club owners are involved because they have access to the security tapes. The party promoters have to get you the girls that you want. So you go there, the DJs with their satanic music. And they don't just sell bottle service, they sell access to drugs, sex, to friends who will later become blackmailers, connections. They say, oh, you need to hook out with this person if you want to be a star. Who the fuck has a business meeting in a club? Idiots. That's who. If you want to compromise a rising politician or a promising artist, you send them to a party. You give them a good time and you record everything. Romy already tried to do this to me. They tried to get me on tape saying rubbish about the Thai government. And instead, I said lovely things about the government, and they all looked at me like, damn, why isn't this working? Because you're fucking fools. Fourth department, law enforcement and legal. So now you think, oh, I'm going to go to the law. They're going to help me. Law and order. No. Dick Wolf told you law and order is all. Watch Law and Order if you want to know how the law really works. So anyway, you go to the law and legal people and you think, oh, I'm safe. No, the cops look the other way. Not all of them, the ones in the cabal. We will call it a cabal because people like that word, but I call it the VN network in the show. So the cops look away, the judges sign fake warrants, the prosecutors lose the files. 764 members have been arrested. Some were former Navy, so we know the Navy's doing their job. Some are from law enforcement families, so we know they are doing their jobs to clean up inside. But the network persists in corporate environments, especially because its operators are protected. And you saw that happen in the case I went through. Okay, Department 5. Drug distribution, the chemical leash. So the dealers are not independent. People think, oh, I'm just going to sell drugs and be independent and have my own money. No, you have to answer to someone who owns that block, that place, that turf. You are managed, honey. Fentanyl gets distributed, kids get hooked, and those kids become assets, desperate enough to do anything for another hit. So now you've got people who know nothing about what's going on the other side. All they know is they want to do anything for drugs. So they're going to go do anything for that. Make up stories, lie about other people, whatever they want. That's how they operate on Earth. Not in Lumania. Department 6, Tech and Data, the digital panopticon. So some of the Silicon Valley billionaires who fund some of these things are angry at us, at Peter, Elon, Mark, Jeff, and Chris, Alex, and I, because we are threatening to their narrative. That's why in the media, the five of us are the bad guys. Everyone gets married, but when Jeff Bezos gets married, it's bad. Everyone can do whatever, but when we do it, it's bad. So Peter Thiel's company is not the threat. It's actually a prototype. And it's like a database that's going to help catch these people. It's kind of like releasing everything, or so at least the people who need it can get it. Does that make sense? Instead of releasing nothing and then even the people who need it don't get it. You guys seem like you get it. Department 7, Finance and Crypto, the laundry. The money has to move. It all comes down to, you all want the money. I saw it in my research. My favorite line was when when I called up one of the people and I was like, give me my money, I want my money. And then I was able to I was raised in such a nice environment. We're not allowed to talk about money and religion. So this part has been absolutely awesome. But I want $100 million. I wanted to do that. I can't do that. But I'm working up to it. I just have to find the person who pisses me off enough to get that out of me. Or someone I feel would owe me that. Who would I feel? Coming soon. Now I'm really thinking of it. Okay, Department 7, Finance and Crypto. The money has to move. Crypto is the preferred medium for these people. So they pump and dump coins. They shill worthless tokens to their followers. I'm not going to name names. And then they funnel those proceeds to the network. And then Governor Aldridge protects them from regulation. Why do you think you have all these famous YouTubers who do scams and they never get caught, but you do one scam and you're in jail for 50,000 years? Because they are protected from accountability. You are not. Department 8, Intelligence and Covert Ops. The Ghosts. Ghost Protocol. Don't look at me. This section is former intelligence officers, former military, and people who know how to control people. How to make people do what they want them to do and to make them disappear when they don't want to do it. So they are the ones who identify star seeds before those people even know they are star seeds. And we're going to see that at the beginning of my movie and how that works. And then Department 9, psychological operations, the mind breakers. Now, this is where they send in Hayden, the fake boyfriend, the fake girlfriend. They study you, they learn your weaknesses, they seduce you, they turn you. And if they can't turn you, they break you. If they can't break you, they delete you. And then you disappear and they say you were crazy. And that's how these people actually make money in the world. That's the only thing they can offer to society, is to be a fake. Instead of acting in actual movies, they would rather act in real life with real people. And it's Asmodeus, it's a demon. That's what they are. It doesn't make sense because it's demonic. It goes against human nature, which is to be fruitful and multiply for y'all. So why would you do that? Very, very weird. Golden opportunities. So that's why you have to stay single in Star Marine. You don't talk to anyone, and you stay with your thoughts. Yes. Department 10, media. You can watch porn. That's what you can do. You can have anyone you want that's 18 and above. That's all you can have. Stimulate yourself. Digital intimacy. I wonder if anyone got that joke when I said digital intimacy, because you get it, like digital computers, digital your fingers. Media and propaganda. And that's Department 10. So that's the echo chamber. This happened when I came back from Asia. I sent this stuff to the journalists and they blocked my email. So then I knew, oh, the journalists are in on it too. I mean, I already knew before because someone gave. The point is, I wanted to see for myself because you know me. I like proof. I'm doubting Thomas sometimes. So then I saw that and then I was like, oh, okay, so it's all the way fake. Makes sense, right? So the pundits who amplify these false narratives work there and they discredit whistleblowers and they are also assets managed. But you think they're just random journalists? No, they're in the VN network. And then Department 11, extraction and disposal, the cleaners. So when an asset is compromised beyond repair, when a star is about to go supernova, they send in the cleaners. They're not hitmen, they're operators. They don't kill, they make people disappear. So they tell people to get a job somewhere else, or some people have a mental breakdown and they have to go to the loony bin, or someone, like I said in that other show, James Forrestal. They do a James Forrestal. They always do everything opposite to nature. A normal thing, yeah. Department 12, political operations. So this is Governor Aldridge's personal department, because now you might think, why would a governor do all of this? What does he get out of this? Well, this is how he compromises other politicians, because he blackmails senators and bribes congressmen and he extorts mayors using the compromat collected by the other 11 departments, the affairs, the addictions, the secret payments, and he owns all of them. Even the readers, because people go to readers, they tell their private business, and then they run and tell that private business to the people there. That's why I will never tell anyone's business, because I'm not going to ruin my family bloodline over Romy. We have to keep the secrets. Shh. Professional. Come on, guys. Now, you all know how they try to take me in this way. They made a critical error, because the billionaires, the ones who fund Governor Aldridge, who own some of the platforms and the tech, they planned all of this before I even knew they existed. And they weren't reacting to me for a reason. Because they know me. They made me. They've been watching me since 2006. They've been tracking my pattern recognition. They had noticed me and they saw the coincidences that I was seeing. And why do you think the whole world is named after me? Pretty much. Metamodernism, everything. And let's not even go into it. So they did what they always do. They socially engineered reality to make life easier for all of us, because they are time travelers too, and you cannot escape what we've done. That's what you guys fail to understand. It's already been done. Jeff Bezos is not going to not be powerful tomorrow. It's done. So what you guys need to do is get with our program now, because you bullied all 6 of us when we were at school with you. You told us we'd be nothing. And now we're taking over the whole planet. So you're gonna do what we tell you to do. And if you don't do what we tell you to do, you will learn to do what we tell you to do through recursive, immersive, wound re-stimulation technology. And it's not because I'm smarter. It's because I've been playing this game since before any of y'all even knew what a monad was. You thought you were hunting me, but I was tracking you, Governor Eldridge. What you don't know is that you think I'm a threat. You think I'm a target. You don't realize that I'm your successor. Yes, I told you, it's already been planned. We just needed a fall guy. We needed someone to take the heat when the 764 network finally gets exposed. We needed a scapegoat, and we chose you. Because you think you're in control, that you're the puppet master, but you're the puppet, Eldridge, and your strings are just about to be cut.